Hello and welcome to RiskOpsAI CXO speaker series. My name is Andrew Beagley and I'm the SVP of Client Solutions here at RiskOpsAI. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Eric Bonnet-Maes. Eric is the CEO for LexisNexis for continental Europe, the Middle East and Africa. So, Eric, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to join us here today. So, please introduce yourself and provide a little bit of background about your role and the organization.
Thank you, Andrew, for the opportunity to discuss the evolving landscape of risk governance and how AI next generation risk management solutions can help organizations stay ahead. As you said, I'm the CEO of LexisNexis Legal and Professional for Continental Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, whose nickname is CEMEA. I joined LexisNexis France in 2007 as Sales and Marketing Director before becoming the COO. In 2018, I moved to Hong Kong to lead the LexisNexis Asia business. End of 2022, I took on my current work. At its core, LexisNexis Legal and Professionals' mission is to empower professionals with the knowledge, insight, and technologies they need to navigate the complexities of law, regulation, and business effectively, all while fostering a world where legal systems are transparent, just, and accessible to all. LexisNexis has focused on integrating artificial intelligence into its services, aiming to enhance the productivity of legal professionals. Our goal is not to replace legal practitioners with AI, but to augment their capabilities, enabling them to navigate complex legal environments more effectively. And on this, I'm quite sure that what we will discuss today is very near from LexisNexis.
Eric, thank you for that introduction and clearly everything that you're involved with. You really are at the crossroads of how the organization is operating today. So, with that in mind, talk about some of the challenges that you see organizations, particularly financial services companies, facing from regulators and different threats and challenges.
You're right. Financial institutions today must manage multiple layers of risk, including regulatory risk. Constantly evolving regulations require firms to stay compliant with stringent reporting and transparent CIS obligations. Cyber risk, to me, is also important. The rise of cyber threats exposes organizations to financial loss, data breaches, and reputational damage. And what we also see within LexisNexis, but not only with companies or style, is third-party vendor risk, where increasing reliance on external vendors creates vulnerabilities that needs to be consistently monitored and mitigated. In this environment, organizations must move beyond traditional risk management approaches and adopt AI-driven solutions that enable real-time monitoring, proactive risk mitigation, and seamless regulatory compliance.
Eric, thank you. And it's great to see that your organization is focused on helping your organization kind of take its program to the next level. With that in mind, here at RiskOps AI, we're helping organizations with continuous control assessments, quantification of risk, being able to measure kind of the effectiveness of controls, but also risk modeling as well, so that an organization at any point in time can tell how well it's doing against its vision and its mission in the compliance and legal space. So Eric, talk about some of the practical challenges and some of the practical steps that organizations should be taking, to pivot from a more traditional approach to a compliance and risk program into a more AI-driven approach along the lines that you were describing before.
Yeah. What we see is that more and more risk management should not be a siloed function, but an integral part of a strategic decision making. However, in many organizations, risk oversight remains disconnected from business goals, and enterprise-wide governance. And it is exactly what I try to avoid, is to have separation between regulatory, risk, and business. For example, what we see is that we, we try to have boards who need to have real-time visibility, as I said earlier, into risk exposure and its impact on business strategy. We also need a proactive risk governance framework enhance business resilience and provides a competitive advantage. We also need, and we spoke a lot about AI, we also need AI-driven risk analytics to enable organizations to align risk oversight with strategic priorities, because it's not silos, as I said, ensuring that risk management supports rather than hinders business growth, which is very important. By embedding risk intelligence into decision making, organization can transform risk from a compliance necessity into a business enabler. I think there is a space for improvement right now. And for example, what I like to say is that my um, head of legal is somebody helping doing business and not destroying the business we can do.
Eric, absolutely. And building on what you just described there, obviously within an organization, there are many different stakeholders that have an interest in making sure that the organization's compliance and risk program is fully integrated. Whether you're the CEO, the CFO, the chief risk officer, the chief compliance officer, the chief information security officer, it's important that everybody has access to what we would describe as a single source of truth. So everybody can tap into the same information for consistency and for effectiveness purposes. Just talk a little bit about the importance of being able to bring together all of these different operating departments, systems, and controls to create one overall view of the risk profile within an organization.
Yeah, I would say that um, what is important is many of the around the boards to be sure that they are under an increased pressure, and they are under an mounting pressure from multiple stakeholders, including regulators, investors, and clients. What we see is that on the regulatory scrutiny, governments and regulators demand greater accountability and evidence of robust risk governance frameworks. From the client part, an investor expectation, they ask transparency in risk management and is now a key differentiator in maintaining trust and credibility. Um, and we also see emerging threats, the growing sophistication of cyber threats, geopolitical instability, and financial crime requires a forward-looking, AI-driven approach to risk management. To meet these demands, boards and EXCO must embrace continuous compliance, automated control, testing, and data-driven decision making.
Thank you, Eric. So, as organizations, embark on their journey to take their programs from a kind of a traditional approach to compliance to something that's more forward-looking, to look at ways to, implement AI in a practical way to support this journey. What final piece of advice would you give to, a chief compliance officer, a CFO, as they go about transitioning their compliance program? Just talk a little bit about, the next steps that you think a company could reasonably take.
I would say that um, I think that there is, I don't know if it is next step or it is a different way of looking at it. But um, I will speak about data and maybe data dilemma. What of the greatest challenges organization face is managing vast and fragmented risk data sources without a unified data strategy. Risk oversight remains inefficient and reactive. So I think that first we need a single source of truth. Consolidating risk data across the enterprise ensures a holistic and accurate view of risk exposure. We also need to, in next step, to trust in data, AI-powered analytics, enhance data integrity, enabling boards to make informed decisions with confidence. And I think what is would be new maybe is near real-time insights, which is not the case today in most of the company. With dynamic risk monitoring, organizations can anticipate and respond to threats proactively rather than reactively, which is mainly the big issue today. Solving the data dilemma, as I said, is foundational in to effective risk governance and regulatory compliance.
Eric, they really are terrific insights and some really good practical steps that an organization can take to get their compliance and risk programs to the next level. Eric, thank you very much. We appreciate your time today and your invaluable insights to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.